Back Road Ministry, the world premiere. Mr. Moxley, Back Road Ministry, coming live and direct. I want to do a quick video. People had threw out some questions about what I thought about Dame Dash's statements about culture vultures and Funk Master Flex's response on the subject. And you know, I looked at it twofold. I think both of them made a point, but at the same time, it shows the sadness of the music industry today, where these two men are going after each other instead of sitting down, discussing the issues in the hip-hop community, and then coming up with a strategy on how we can make it better. Because right now, hip-hop is pretty much, you know, two rappers, J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar. Outside of that, you know, for us old school heads, some of our artists are still cranking out, you know, material. But outside of that, I feel sorry for this young generation. I don't know what this garbage is they got. I mean, we got Young Thug, who, you know, is dressing up like a cheerleader. We got Meek Mills, who got himself locked up for 2 years. We got Rick Ross, who my boy went to school with, and said that the dude he portrays is nothing like the guy he is in reality. So right now, you know, we got a lot of BS in the hip-hop community. So Dame's argument, because at one time Dame and them, if I'm not mistaken, were trying to get a distribution deal where pretty much they ran distribution for hip-hop artists. I mean, it's smart. It makes sense. It's smart. They were trying to get a distribution deal. They were trying to put everybody together. Suge, Slam for Cash Money. That was the rumor. They were trying to put everybody together. They were trying to get a distribution deal, and they were trying to, you know, basically control hip-hop. They wanted to run the hip-hop dollars instead of, you know, some of the elites who've been in the music industry for years, pretty much just exploiting it. You've seen the movie, you know, Straight Outta Compton, when, you know, when Easy and them sat down and first met Interscope Records head. His claim to fame was the California Raisin album at the time. He had no true interest in hip-hop culture. If he did, he would have signed artists way before he signed Eazy-E and NWA. The only thing he really cared about is something new, and I feel I can make money off of this. And this is what Dame is talking about when he talks about culture vulture. Basically, you just there to make money off the culture at that time. You really don't care about it. It's just profitable. This has been going on in music for generations, for decades. So we got a lot of culture vultures out there. They just pretty much want to make a penny off of that product right then at that time. Really don't really care about it. And that's what we got going on in hip-hop now. You got a whole bunch of artists out there who, they're not making no money. You think these guys are making money? No, they're not making any money. You know, they're hoping, like anybody in the NFL and NBA, that they get to their second or third album, which is always the big money album where you get your big deal. You know, in sports, you know, usually your second contract is the money contract. It's never the first contract. You're just playing for pennies. The second contract is when you go make that money. You hope that you get 2 of these big contracts in your career. And that's like with any artist. It might be the 3rd or 4th album before you pop. You know what I'm saying? With Jay and all these cats, it took a couple of hits before they really start seeing any income. And Dame talks about it all the time. You're not seeing nothing in business about over 5 years in any business you have. So Flex has his points. And Flex's points is that Dame wasn't calling these guys culture vultures when he was hungry and when he needed to eat. And when Rockefeller needed to be fed, they weren't culture vultures. All right, Dame's got a point. They weren't culture vultures. But at the same time, what Flex needs to look at is this is a 25-year-old African-American man, knows nothing about the music industry, trying to get his crew on, trying to get a guy who's not even a young rapper, but has been in the game a long period of time and hasn't had any success. He's trying. He's not giving up on this guy. And finally, okay, they got some opportunities, and the rest is history. So this is a young guy who really doesn't know the business. He really thinks that, you know, these guys genuinely want to be a part of hip hop culture when it wasn't true. And you have to learn these things over time. You learn the business over time. Now, am I giving Dame a pass? No, because, you know, at some point in this, Dame could have, you know, made moves whereas he could have removed himself from these guys. You know, even with the Def Jam thing, we see how Russell just sells Def Jam to the elite, and then they start treating him like a Jonathan and shit. But that's what happens. That's what happens. So you run into these guys who is all about the money. In the NFL, the NBA, we see the same thing. Sell your soul, I give you some money. They don't care about these kids when they come out of college. They can care less. No, they're just trying to get a buck. The dude down there in Kentucky, all he's trying to do is get some money. He doesn't care about them kids. Yeah, he get them in the NFL and NBA, but look how much his take is. He getting paid while they in college. He doesn't really care about them kids. So we got a lot of culture vultures out there. So I understand Dame's argument, but I also understand Flex's argument that they weren't culture vultures when you were sitting down eating with them. So he has a strong point there. But on the other end, you know, Flex needs to understand that just because now someone is mature enough to point these things out, point out mistakes that they made, point out things that need to change in the industry, does not give you the right to say they don't have the right to speak out about it now. So now Dame is saying basically we need to save the music. Hip hop is about to die. That's on the real. Right now, hip hop is 5 seconds from deceased. It's 5 seconds from deceased unless the old heads come, get together and find a way to save it, because the powers that be are purposely running our music into the ground. They're letting anybody rap. We got the Cardi B's and the Nicki Minaj's, and these kids really have no talent. There's no originality. There's no focus on lyrics anymore. It's just throw this crap on the radio. You know, half of it is just, you know, degrading. You had a dude talking about I dropped out of school. Now I'm dumb rich. I'm like, they're releasing things like this to, you know, pretty much program the youth in our community. It's degrading music. You can do drugs. You can do this. Slap your girl. All crazy stuff. And we had crazy rap back then, but we had, you know, a mixture of artists. And when somebody got out of pocket, there was another artist to chuck them. You don't have that anymore. You just got buck wild in the media age and social media age. Everybody's buck wild in the digital age. So Dame has the right at this time to demand that people speak up. Just like Chuck D spoke up about Summer Jam, and here come Flex and, you know, Hot 97, you know, and the Elbow, Ebo, and the rest of them saying that Chuck D doesn't have the right to say anything about the foolishness that's going on at Summer Jam. Yes, he does. He's the one who needs to say it, because this is hip-hop legacy. Legacy has the right to say, hey, I don't like the way that you're treating my house. I left you that house. I left you that house in order. Look how you treating my house. You need to clean the shit up. Here come Ebo, where we can do whatever the hell we want to do. That's what the elite wants. The elite wants to have total control over hip-hop, the culture. So pretty much in a couple of years, I hate to say it, just like jazz, the majority of the artists is going to be European American. And I'm not saying that Europeans can't rap and Europeans can't do jazz. But, you know, sometimes they have this thing where they take over, and it no longer is our music, it's their music. And that's what we got to stop in hip-hop. We have to get back to hip-hop fundamentals. Good lyrics, good beats, and give some songs with meanings. Because right now, you don't have any great rappers out there. We got Kendrick Lamar right now. J. Cole was kind of challenging, but now Kendrick is pretty much by himself. He needs some competition, or he's not going to be able to survive. Hip-hop is only as good, an artist is only as good as the competition. An artist is only as good as the competition. Everybody needs somebody to survive. Remember, Cool J had Mo D. KRS-One had the Queensbridge crew. He had the Juice crew. So everybody needs another artist that's good to survive. Mr. Motley, Back Row Ministry, peace and hair grease.